Each of us have sometimes boring tasks in Excel, but luckily Excel has great tools for dealing with them. Of course, Power Query is my favorite tool for automating tasks, but today I'll show you another one that I also like using, and it is called macros. To put it in a simple way, macros are a set of instructions that we give to Excel, and then we can execute those same instructions automatically. We can use macros to format tables, to clean data, to even navigate within Excel, or to generate charts. So without further ado, let's get into it. You can access the macros either from the search bar or within the Developer tab. If you do not have it, go to File, Options, Customize ribbon, and make sure the Developer box is checked. Here within the Developer tab, we can see the macro list. We don't have any yet, and we can record a macro. That's what we are going to do, and we will start with something simple. We will create a macro that will unhide all the columns and all the rows within this spreadsheet. So we will call the macro unhide. Keep in mind that after pressing OK, Excel will record every step that we make. So make sure that for this specific macros, you take only the necessary steps. We will click OK. And what we are going to do is to first select the content of the whole spreadsheet. We could either do that by clicking here or by pressing Ctrl A. Next, we will hover our cursor over the column panel, right click, unhide, and then hover our cursor over the row panel, right click, unhide. Now we will click stop recording. If we go to macro panel, we have a macro here. And if we go to another spreadsheet with another dataset, we access the macro and we run it, and it does the things automatically. What we can do next is to create a bigger macro. Since the dataset is quite messy, we have rows of different sizes. Some of the cells are formatted blue. The text is not aligned properly, so we will create a macro that will format our dataset properly. Let's click record. We will call this one formatting, and we will click OK. From this point, what we can do is to select the content of the spreadsheet. We will press Ctrl A, and beside using the cursor, we can also record the instructions by using shortcuts. So that's what we are going to do. We will resize the columns by using the shortcut Alt H O I, and we will resize the rows by using the shortcut Alt H O A. Next, we will clear the formatting. We will align the text to the left and to the middle of the cell. We will change the font to Arial and the size to 10. Now we can stop the recording. We will go back to the Developer tab and stop. So now we have two macros. And if we go to the second spreadsheet, we can run the second macro to automatically format the dataset. It is quite handy, but going always to this macro panel and running it is not that comfortable. So what we can do is to create buttons for triggering each macro. To do that, we need to go to File, Option, and Quick Access Toolbar. Here within the Choose Command From, we will choose Macros, and here we can see our two macros that we have created, and we will add them to the Quick Access Toolbar. What we can also do, if we click on Modify, we can change the button appearance. So for unhiding, I will use this button, and for formatting, I will use this one. We click OK, and you can see in this corner our macros have appeared. So if we go to the third spreadsheet and we click on unhide and then on formatting, the macros have run in a very simple way. By this point, we recorded the macros by clicking on instructions or by using shortcuts. But the macros offer even more. If we go to the macro panel and we try to edit a macro, we get to the VBA editor. VBA stands for Visual Basic for Application, and it's a programming language used in the Microsoft Office software. So actually, when we recorded those macros, in the background, Excel has written automatically the VBA code, so it made our life easier. The third macro we are going to record, we will code within the VBA editor. You can see in the project panel, we can see our Excel file. So here we have the sheet 1, 2, 3, the workbook, and this modules folder. The module equals macro. So our macros are written within this module 1. We can write our third macro either in this file. So you can see that this portion of the code is for unhide macro, and the second portion is for the formatting macro. We will create another module and we will write the third macro in there. To do that, go to Insert, Insert Module. So now we have a second module in here. To start programming the macro, we need to declare our function. To do that, we need to write sub and the name of our macro. The macro we are going to create is for navigating to the first spreadsheet of the workbook. So whenever we run this macro, either we have 100 spreadsheets or 5 spreadsheets. When running the macro, we will go to the most left one. So we will call it spreadsheet. After pressing return, VBA editor automatically created the end sequence for the function. And here we will write just one line of code. We will write sheets, open parentheses, and here we can actually write the name of a specific spreadsheet when we want to navigate to. We could, for instance, navigate to the June spreadsheet, close parentheses, then dot, and select. So what will this macro do is whenever run, it will navigate to the June spreadsheet. If we write here August, it will always navigate to the spreadsheet with this name. But since we want to navigate always to the first spreadsheet, we will write just one. Let's save it. And we can close the VBA editor. Now, if we go to our macro panel, we can see our third macro in here. If we run it, we go to our first spreadsheet. If we switch it with places and run it again, we again go to the first spreadsheet. So let's also add this macro to the quick access bar. And I will choose this button. Easy and useful. It's incredible how automating tasks in Excel makes life so much easier, and macros is a great tool for doing that. But in my opinion, the real game changer for automating tasks in Excel, especially for cleaning data, is Power Query. So if you want to get to the next level, check out my Power Query playlist. You'll find very useful tutorials in there. Or if you're not feeling ready yet, you might also enjoy my playlist with Excel tutorials.